Hey everyone, I'm Jay.
And I'm Sean.
And we watched a movie.
Yes, we did.
We watched On the Rocks.
Oh yeah.
What was it? Apple TV?
Apple TV.
Apple TV.
Which we can now get because it's on PlayStation. Because we have no Apple products.
That is true. We have no Apple products. We do have a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, not a 5 yet because that's ridiculous. But anyway.
Sean's feeling a little bitter. But
I am. I had it in my cart 3 times yesterday and I could never complete the transaction.
Poor Sean.
Yep.
We'll get you one, babe.
Thanks, sweetie.
Eventually.
One of these days. Or
Yes.
months.
But I was very glad, even if it was on just a terribly old and outdated console, to be able to finally watch On the Rocks. Because I was looking forward to it. It is the new Bill Murray star by Sofia Coppola. They work together often and they're quite a pair. And it did not disappoint.
It did not. I agree.
It really did not. It was a great movie, I thought. Perhaps Coppola's most accessible, least weird, most straightforward.
Certainly in a while. In a long while.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I feel like it had a little bit of a lost in translation vibe of just the storytelling because it is, present day and straightforward.
So it is ostensibly about Laura, who is played by Rashida Jones, and her suspicions that her marriage is crumbling due to her husband Dean's infidelity. Dean played by Marlon Wayans. So she doesn't know this for sure, but he's at work an awful lot of hours. He is traveling around the world an awful lot without his wife, without his kids, but with a very beautiful assistant.
And he has her stuff in his luggage.
Suitcase, yeah. And there was a strange occurrence one night when he came to bed where he seemed not to recognize his wife, or when he did, he no longer wanted to make kissy with her. So things are piling up, adding up. Her women's intuition has been triggered on a few occasions. And she's not feeling her best self. She's not been working. She's a writer. But she's lost a bit of her confidence. And I mean, they have 2 small kids. They're very busy. And I think they have not been connecting lately in or out of the bedroom as much as they should. So when all these things start happening, she does the wife math and doesn't like the answer. Now into the equation, we're going to insert Mr. Bill Murray, who plays her father, Felix.
I feel like he's not even acting here. I feel like this could just be Bill Murray
conversations
as
with Bill
her rich
Murray.
dad.
Rashida Jones already has a rich dad. His
Yeah.
name is Quincy. You
She
may have
does.
heard of him.
Yep.
She's doing okay in the dad department. Although, who would turn down being adopted by Bill Murray? Really, I'm totally available. And I don't have a dad, rich or otherwise, so
it's
I'm
legit.
available.
Yeah.
Willing to take on those daddy issues if you'll only let me. So she sort of starts confiding in her father, who kind of randomly turns up in her life. I wouldn't say, they're not estranged, but he's just a kind of wild and crazy guy who's traveling the world, enjoying his retirement, enjoying some ladies. He's a playboy.
He is.
But he's back in New York City, which, by the way, Sofia Coppola, just talking about how to compare this to Lost in Translation, definitely the city itself comes alive a lot more in this one. Tokyo we see only very briefly in Lost in Translation. So it's funny that they did kind of go all the way there to tape and then spent a lot of it just in a hotel.
Yeah.
But New York City, it's not Atlanta, it's not Toronto, it is actually New York City.
Yeah.
Yes, you can feel it, you can practically smell it, for better or worse. But yeah, it's really beautifully shot, actually. So they kind of have this a little bit of a caper adventure around the city, acting as spies together to see whether or not her husband is actually cheating.
Yeah.
So that's, if you've got some spare time on your hands, you can turn like PI with your dad, as long as he's got like a classic Mercedes convertible to tool around in.
Yep.
Wow.
And Bill Murray does.
And he does. Yes, he does. I don't know if he's a good driver, though. That concerned me a little bit. It concerned her a little bit, I think.
Concerned the police a little bit.
True. And yet, his charm is just of such a magnitude. I mean, obviously his daughter doesn't stand a chance. And his daughter has some qualms about the way he treated her mom. His philanderings ended in divorce and he left the family. So is he really the best person to turn to when you wonder if your own husband is cheating? I mean, maybe.
Maybe. He does have the experience.
He knows which hotels are for cheating and which are really for work. And he does have some insight there. So they have a lot of quality time. They have meals and cocktails on and off the rocks. And just talk about what exactly it is a man wants and a man is looking for, and does a man always stray? Is monogamy even possible? Conversations that I think not a lot of fathers and daughters have had, so they have a unique relationship in that they are able to be open about this and speak honestly. And Bill Murray is just dropping these truth bombs, pearls of wisdom. I mean, and they're just like off the cuff to him. This Felix guy is charming and suave, and he's just got a whole lifetime worth of experience to drop on his daughter. And so some of them that turn out to be quite profound. I mean, he's like just a quippy guy, and so a lot of the stuff he says are like stuff he probably read in a vintage copy of Playboy. But once in a while, something is so disarming and so genuine. I mean, you have to really be on your guard in this movie, because if you let your guard down even a little bit, he's going to hit you right in the feels. Mm-hmm. So how are you feeling about this movie?
If you love Bill Murray, and I don't know
And
who doesn't, then watch this movie.
I want names.
Because it's awesome. Like, this is Bill Murray just at his most charming, at his most disarming.
Yes.
And there's so many good little scenes. I just think there's a scene with Bill Murray and his grandkids where they're just having a great time. And it does make you think, like, wouldn't it be cool if Bill Murray was your granddad? Wouldn't you have so much fun? Because of course you would.
You would.
Because he lets them watch Breaking Bad. And they're like 3 and 6, and they're watching Breaking Bad because it's a good show.
It is. It's quality television. You may have heard. Yeah. So I don't know if he's the best babysitter, but certainly the kids will be happy when he comes over.
Yep.
He does sort of whip around ice cream like it's going out of style.
Yeah, like it's broccoli.
That's true. Dessert before dinner, even.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think possibly Bill Murray is getting better with age. He really is at his finest in here. Now, as I said, he and Sofia Coppola have worked together previously. They know each other well. She clearly wrote this with him in mind.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And he is the kind of person who brings a lot of collaboration to the set. He doesn't strictly go from the script, and that's okay with her. But he and Rashida Jones have a terrific chemistry. My goodness.
Yep.
Of course, you better. This is really just a two-handed movie, just the two of them reconnecting, really, almost bonding over her failing marriage. And you can tell even sometimes they struggle with, shouldn't we feel worse about this? Shouldn't we feel sadder about this? And yet they're kind of having fun. They're kind of getting swept along in this.
Well, it's an adventure.
This detective adventure.
Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, it's kind of a fun one. A very unique relationship, but I thought it was very interesting. We sometimes say that women marry their fathers. And of course, aside from the bourbon they drink and the martinis and all the other cocktails in some of the finest restaurants and bars in New York City, which may be served on and off the rocks, and Laura's marriage, which is clearly on the rocks, I think it is, at its most basic level, her relationship with her father that is on the rocks and that needs healing. And that they've never really been able to get to this space before now because she has held on to a certain resentment ever since she was a kid and her parents got divorced. And as much as you might love your father, as an adult, you realize what he did to your mother as a person and how much that hurts. And that is a new wound that you might re-experience as an adult when you're looking at these events with a different lens. And of course, all of these things that happen to us as children are role models for what love and relationships should be. They color us and they color how we choose our own relationships and significant others. So I think that is really the relationship that needs to be healed before she can attempt any others.
Well said. Yeah, you can go deep on this one too, can't you?
You can, even though it is a very lightly served sort of, I don't know, comedy. I don't even know what to call it. It sort of defies genres. It's definitely funny in places, though. Jenny Slate pops up in certain places just to be very Jenny Slate.
Yeah.
She might legitimately just hang around that corner all the time, and no one knows how to shut her up. And so, but I think it's just kind of a really sweet father-daughter movie, really, that we don't get to see these like adult movies. Even Sofia Coppola, I think, struggles with adult themes. And so what she's working on in this one is really kind of special.
I agree. It is. It's a nice movie.
So,
I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay. Whose car do you think you'll take when you and your dad are driving around the city on a stakeout?
Oh, it would probably not be mine because it's too flashy.
Talk about the cherry red.
Oh, I know, but we're not Bill Murray. We can't charm our way out of things that he does.
Okay.
So we'd have to really lay low.
Okay. Well, I just think if you're pursuing somebody who knows you in a recognizable car, you're worried about the cops following you through all the red lights you're burning through, but I just think you're going to get made.
Yeah, well, that's why we need like a beige sedan.
Oh, a beige sedan.
Which my dad
In
probably
Canada, it
is
should
looking at.
probably be silver.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
that
the
is
big,
our color.
Yes.
Yep.
And so also in this movie, Bill Murray on his stakeouts brings along a little cooler of caviar. I don't think that's going to be the treat of choice between you and your dad.
No, probably he'd have an apple.
Oh gosh, you really do need a Bill Murray in your life.
Chips.
This is the lamest. In a beige sedan
And
eating an apple. You see
just
where that's
stay
lost in
silent.
translation.
Yeah.
I don't think you guys get what this is supposed to be about. You can't bond over an apple.
2 apples?
Of course, you wouldn't even share. We'll each have, your mom is sent.
We wouldn't share. No, we would each have our own apple.
Oh my gosh.
It's weird to share an apple.
We share apples.
Yeah, we do. But we're more intimate than me and my dad.
Well, okay. You and that share over there are more intimate than you and your dad, I think. So that's why you need a stakeout.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how you bond. You know, do it now, Sean.
All right.
While you're both two
All right.
handsome men out on the town.
Yeah, I can see it.
Talking a little dirty to the waitresses.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah, this movie was just easy. It's an easy watch. It's a fun watch. It's surprisingly lighthearted for the basic premise of the movie.
Serious underlying theme.
Yes. But it has a very light touch, so it's a really nice watch. And yeah, Bill Murray is the king. Clearly he's got a lot of good work left in him, so come on, Corona, get out of the way so we can put him back to work.
Sounds good.
Selfishly.
I'm sure he enjoys it too. He certainly looks like it in this movie.
Yes, he does. Although he gets to sit around drinking and eating caviar. What's not to like? Imagine that was your job.
Yeah.
It's a good day at work.
Pretty good life.
It's a pretty good day at work. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. You can find On the Rocks on Apple TV. Bye.
Bye.